It is said that we see with our eyes, we hear with our ears, and we speak with our mouths. But let me present this to you. We see with our minds, we hear with our minds, and then we speak from our minds. The way our eyes function is not based on what we see, but based on the information in our minds. This is why two people can have different perception about one person. If you meet someone for the first time without an extra information about that person, there is a high likelihood that you would flow better with that person. You will have no problem with that person. The moment an extra information is told to you about that person, it changes completely the way you see that person. For example, in matters like relationship and politics, in relationship, there are people that have no problem dating certain people because they have no information about that person that appears bad. But the moment somebody comes and tells them something extra, something bad about that person, it changes completely the way that person sees the person he's dating or she's dating. Even if the person they are dating does nothing bad to them, it doesn't matter. That information is sealed in their minds and it begins to control the way that they begin to see that person. The same thing through politics. There are people that no matter how much they beg, no matter what they promise, no matter how much they say they have changed, we cannot trust them because of the information we have about them. Now, they might truly be transformed or changed. They might truly have repented. But you see, it is difficult to let go the information you once had about people. Same way too, somebody might be really bad and might have the worst intention ever, but because we don't know that information or we don't know the past of that person can easily fool us. That person can easily deceive us into trusting them and then getting ourselves hurt, because what we see is not in front of us, rather it is what we know about them that controls how we see and what we see. The same thing too applies to our hearing. You see, we do not hear what people say, we hear how we feel about them. And this is why two people can hear the same person speak, and one person will say, "What a powerful presentation." Another person will say, this person sounds proud. It is because of what we feel about them. Our hearing has a lot to do with information in our minds about that person. So if you don't like a person, it's going to affect the way you hear them. Maybe somebody comes to you and then is trying to do a business with you, and then you heard from somebody that this person cannot be trusted, this person has dubious tendencies. Automatically, even if that person had good intention to do great business with you, you would no longer hear them again with the mind of trust, because they have sown a seed of distrust about that person in your mind. So information controls the way we hear people. And then lastly, we do not speak from our mouth, neither do we speak from our voice. We speak from our mind. That is why a saying goes, "I go tell you my mind," because that is what it is. And this is the basis for arguments. When you see two people arguing, they might be saying the same thing, but because somebody is tensed up, he wants to say what's in his mind. He will not really hear or listen to what is said, but rather he wants to just say what is in his mind. And at the end of the day, when he says what is in his mind, he feels calm. But you realize at the end of the day, you might end up feeling like a fool because what you said did not really make sense, but you have said your mind. Try to understand before you speak. Don't speak because you know things. Speak because you understand things. Many of us, we know a lot of things and speak what we know that has no correlation to the matters at hand. This is a problem because you will keep sounding foolish even if you are knowledgeable. If we must see well, hear well, and speak well, we must do two things. Number one, check the informations in your head and ask yourself, are they accurate? Number two, try your best to prevent unnecessary information from getting into your head. This is why the Bible speaks greatly against gossiping, because it has the power to pollute the mind. And so the Bible says we must renew our mind daily, because most times you can't control what we receive into the mind, but you can decide what stays in your mind by the renewal of His word. Whatever information that you have that is not necessary, cast it away, because it will not help you when it comes to the way you see, the way you hear, and the way you talk.